Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving deep into online coding courses today.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, everyone's talking about them, right?
Yeah.
Are they the ticket to a big fat tech salary? Or are they just hype?
Yeah, it feels like every day there's a new ad.
Exactly. So we're going to figure it out right here, right now. We got some great research to dig into, including this analysis I found from Algo Academy's blog. They get into all the pros and cons.
Ah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I mean, they're right there in the online learning world trying to do some new things.
exactly. So let's jump in. What's got everyone so excited about these online courses? What's the big appeal?
Well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Accessibility, traditional education, it just can't compete. I mean, think about it learning Python on a beach in Bali
Uh,
or like mastering JavaScript on your commute. You just need the internet.
no kidding. That's a huge change. It used to be you had to move or commute to a classroom. And speaking of which, cost is a big factor too, right?
Huge. We could be talking thousands of dollars in savings. Boot camps. Easily 15 grand or more. But a top online course, maybe a few $100.
Wow, that's a game changer. Opens a lot of doors that might have been closed before.
For sure.
But okay, so it's affordable and convenient. But can these courses actually teach you anything?
That's the million-dollar question. And Algo Academy, in their blog, they highlight some big advantages. For one, online courses, they can be super up-to-date, latest tech, trends, all that.
Makes sense. They can update things way faster than a university.
Exactly. So you're learning what employers actually want right now. That's key.
Totally. I saw a bunch of courses now include cloud computing stuff, AWS, Azure. You don't always get that in a regular computer science program.
Right. Great example. And it's not just about keeping up with tech. It's about how they teach it. Online courses can be really interactive,
Oh, yeah.
coding exercises, feedback in real time, even AI tutors.
Whoa, AI tutors. That's wild.
Yeah, they're really moving away from that old passive way of learning.
Totally. So we got accessibility, affordability, and they're using the latest stuff. But I'm guessing there's got to be a downside, right?
There are, and Algo Academy talks about them too. One of the biggest ones is structure or lack of it. Self-paced learning, it takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah, it's easy to get distracted at home.
For sure. Netflix is right there.
Exactly. And while online platforms are getting better with community stuff, it's not the same as a real classroom.
Yeah, you miss those random conversations, the energy.
Totally. And then there's the question of quality. Just because it's online doesn't mean it's good.
Right.
So how do you avoid the bad ones?
Algo Academy says research is key. Reviews, course outlines, who is the instructor, are there any free trials?
Yeah, good advice. And you got to think about how you learn best too, right? Some people need that structure, deadlines.
While others need that freedom, it's all about what works for you.
Totally. So we've talked big picture pros and cons, but how do these online courses compare to university programs or boot camps?
That's a great question, and it's something we're going to dig into next time. We'll break down those different options and help you figure out what might be the best fit.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. So back to online coding courses. The big question is, do they actually work? Can you really learn to code just from taking one?
Right, like all those ads promising six-figure salaries after a few weeks online, is that even possible?
Yeah, it sounds kind of too good to be true.
Well, online courses, they're a tool, not magic. They can be great, but only if you use them right.
So it's not just watching videos and hoping for the best.
Nope. You got to be engaged, put in the effort, practice a lot, and actually use what you're learning.
It's more like you're driving the learning, not just along for the ride.
Exactly. And with
Yeah.
that mindset, online learning can be really effective.
I was reading Algo Academy's blog, and they mentioned a study, I think it was from 2020, where students who took online coding courses got way better at programming, and their confidence went way up, too.
Yeah, that one was interesting. It wasn't just like a little confidence boost either. It was like a 30% average increase.
Wow, that's huge. So it's not just feeling good, it's knowing you can actually do it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And there's more too. Stack Overflow, they did a big survey, and turns out most professional developers have taken online coding courses.
Really? So even the pros are using them?
Yep. Over 60% said they used online learning for their careers. Learning new languages, getting those in-demand skills, even moving up in their jobs.
That's pretty convincing. Sounds like these courses are becoming pretty important in the tech world.
They are. And get this, even MIT, they've done research showing online courses, when they're designed well, interactive and supportive, they can be just as good as a regular classroom.
So they're not just for beginners then?
Nope, not at all.
Well, it sounds like online courses can be a legit way to learn real coding, whether you're starting out or you've been doing it for years.
Totally. But like we said, got to have the right approach. Proactive, disciplined, got to put in the work.
Like anything else worth learning, right?
Exactly. And some platforms are doing some cool things to help with that, providing that structure and support you might need.
Yeah, like Algo Academy. We talked about them before, right? They're really trying to tackle those downsides of online learning.
Right. Their approach is interesting. I think a lot of people would like it.
What about that AI assistance thing they have? That sounds pretty futuristic.
Yeah, think about it. A virtual tutor right there with you, answering your questions, giving advice, even customizing things as you go.
Wow, that's like a personalized coding coach.
Pretty much. It can make a big difference, especially when you hit those tough spots.
Makes sense. It's easy to get frustrated when you're stuck and there's no one to help.
Right. And it's not just about giving answers. It's about teaching you how to think like a coder, how to solve problems on your own.
So it's not a shortcut, it's like a guide.
Exactly. And that's just one example of how Algo Academy is trying to combine the best of online learning, that flexibility, with the structure and support you get in a classroom.
I also saw they focus on step-by-step problem solving. That's something I struggle with, Complex coding challenges can be overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely. And Algo Academy, they break those big challenges down into smaller steps, so you don't feel lost. You build your skills gradually.
Like having a map instead of just wandering around in the dark.
Exactly. And they go even further. They know it's not enough to just write code. You got to understand the how and why behind it. That's where algorithmic thinking comes in.
Algorithmic thinking, for those of us who don't know, what's that all about?
Well, it's basically about breaking down problems into steps a computer can understand. It's about logic, patterns, finding efficient solutions.
So it's not just about remembering code, it's a way of thinking.
Exactly. And that's a skill every tech company wants, no matter what language or program you're using.
So Algo Academy is not just teaching you to code, they're teaching you how to think like a programmer.
Right. And they really focus on getting you ready for those tough technical interviews, especially the big tech companies, Google, Facebook.
Oh yeah, the FAAng interviews, right? Those are tough.
And notorious. But Algo Academy, they've got specific training for that, practicing coding problems, working on your communication skills, all that.
Like a boot camp just for interviews.
Exactly. They get it.
Yeah.
Getting a tech job isn't just about coding. It's about showing you can solve problems, think critically, and learn fast.
Showing them you're ready for that fast-paced world.
Exactly. And that's what I think makes them stand out. They're not just teaching code. They're helping you build a career.
Okay, so we've talked about the good and bad of online courses, how they compare to other ways of learning, and how platforms like Algo Academy are doing things differently. Now I think it's time to give our listeners some practical advice.
I agree. Let's boil it all down, give them some tips they can use right away, whether they're just starting or they're already learning.
Perfect. That's exactly what they're here for. So what's the first thing someone should do if they're thinking about jumping into online coding? Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground, right? Pros and cons, comparing online courses to other options, even seeing how places like Algo Academy are shaking things up.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
And now it's all about you, the learner.
Right. We want you to walk away from this knowing how to make the best decisions for your own coding journey.
Exactly. So let's get down to brass tacks. What's the first thing someone should do if they're serious about this whole online coding thing?
Before you even look at a course, figure out your goals. Why coding? What are you hoping to get out of it? Career change, new skills for your job, just a fun hobby.
Makes sense. Got to know where you're going, right?
Exactly. Then start researching, but be smart about it. Don't just pick the first course you see.
Yeah, it's like buying a car, right? You don't just buy the first one on the lot.
Exactly. Read reviews, compare what's covered in each course, who's teaching, maybe try a free lesson.
Oh, and ask around. See if your friends or colleagues have any recommendations.
That's a good point, yeah. Use your network.
Okay, so you've done your research, you found a course, you're ready to go. Now what?
Now, structure. This is key. Online learning is flexible, which is awesome, but it also means you need to be disciplined.
Especially at home, right?
Yeah.
Distractions everywhere.
Oh, yeah. So make a schedule, treat it like a real class, set times for studying, find a quiet spot, turn off your phone.
Basically create a learning zone.
Exactly. And don't forget about connecting with other people.
Oh, you mean like online communities and
Yeah,
stuff?
forums, study groups, whatever works. Sharing the journey with others can really help.
Like having a study buddy, but online.
Right. And remember, coding is hands-on. You learn by doing.
So watching videos isn't enough.
Not really. You got to practice, build projects, maybe contribute to open source stuff, challenge
Get
yourself.
those fingers typing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Exactly. And don't limit yourself to just courses. There are tons of resources out there, books, tutorials, blogs, even other podcasts.
Expand your horizons.
Yeah, always keep learning. The tech world never stands still.
Very true. And real-world experience is super valuable too, right?
Absolutely. Internships, freelance work, even volunteering, they can all make a big difference.
So we've gone from that initial, like, maybe I should try coding, all the way to actually getting out there and doing it.
And hopefully you're feeling more confident about taking that first step.
Exactly. Coding's for everyone. No matter your background, there's a place for you.
So to wrap things up, the most important thing is to just start. Dive in, learn, and never stop exploring.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Who knows? Maybe we'll be talking about your coding success story on a future deep dive.
That'll be awesome.
Until then, happy coding, everyone.